You only do things because you believe that you'll get something good out of it. I know it sounds terrible, but in the grand scheme of life, that is how we roll. Think about it. Think about your worst boss ever. Now, what are the chances that you would have shown up to that job if you weren't getting paid? I don't even have to hear your responses to know that the answer is zilch, nada, not gonna happen. There is no way you're showing up for a job, working for a boss that you do not like, unless you were getting paid. You were not motivated by that job. You were motivated by wanting your bills paid. Let's keep it real. So as we go through the steps of breaking down how to find your motivation, I want you to consider that your motivation to transform your health in major ways isn't that different from your motivation to show up and work for that boss that you didn't like. Welcome to Undiet with Dani. I'm your host, Dani Taylor, here to empower women just like you to create healthier, happier lifestyles that they love without food restrictions and diets. This weekly conversation will help you eliminate the noise so you can finally create the health, body, and lifestyle of your dreams. Have you been struggling to consistently create healthier habits, feel good in your body, and continue to eat foods that you love? Well, I'm about to help you do exactly that. Go ahead and subscribe because this is about to get good. Let's get into it. So what I want to talk about today is a topic that I hear a lot of, and it's a question that I get asked about a lot, and that is, how do I get motivated? There's so many conversations we can have around motivation, but today we're specifically going to talk about 3 steps you can use to find your motivation no matter what. Now, one of the things that I want you to understand about motivation before we get started is that your actions are driven by consequences. You only do things because you believe that you'll get something good out of it. I know it sounds terrible, but in the grand scheme of life, that is how we roll. Think about it. Think about your worst boss ever. Now, what are the chances that you would have shown up to that job if you weren't getting paid? I don't even have to hear your responses to know that the answer is zilch, nada, not gonna happen. There is no way you're showing up for a job, working for a boss that you do not like, unless you were getting paid. You were not motivated by that job. You were motivated by wanting your bills paid. Let's keep it real. So as we go through the steps of breaking down how to find your motivation, I want you to consider that your motivation to transform your health in major ways isn't that different from your motivation to show up and work for that boss that you didn't like. Regardless of whether the result is immediate or delayed, you're only taking action because you believe you're going to get something out of it that you want. We're about to break down how your actions are driven by your consequences and lay out action steps to help you find your motivation. Let's get into it. Step 1. Step 1 is visualize your success. When you think about that healthy life that you really want to have, not the I want to feel good in my body, but I'm eating restricted, like the life that you really want to have, where you're able to eat all of the foods that you love and you're still working out and doing the things that you need to do for your health consistently. When you think about and visualize that life, I want you to go ahead and get extremely clear about what that life looks, feels, sounds, tastes like. Get extremely clear. If you need to pause this for a second to go ahead and write this down, then do that. But this is the time to get really clear about the life that you want, and then ask yourself, do you believe that you can do it? Do you genuinely believe that when you take actions toward this goal, that you can create this healthier lifestyle for yourself? And you want to get clear about this because if you don't believe you can accomplish the goal, you're not going to take actions to get there. I remember a few years ago when Kanye West's Fade video came out, Dani Taylor was everybody's body goals. And a ton of people said that they were going to start working out and eating healthier and all kinds of lies. And I mean, they probably had great intentions. But going from couch to Dani Taylor snatch is not realistic for most working mothers. So they never took action, and it's absolutely understandable. I knew when most people were saying that they weren't going to take action anyway, because that level of fitness is unbelievable for most people. If you want to consistently take action toward the healthier lifestyle that you want, you have to believe that the success that you want to have is a possibility for you. Okay, that's step 1. Step 2, look for clues. We've all heard it. Success leaves clues. You have to identify what these clues are that show you that what you're doing will lead to the end result that you want to have. Whatever that lifestyle looked and felt like for you in step 1, before you take any action, you got to believe that your actions will help you create that life. You know what happens when you don't believe the actions will help. You don't take action, right? I'm definitely not. And that brings me to another thought. One of the major downsides of dieting and adopting food rules is that they don't encourage consistency. Most people don't talk about this, but all the times that you fell off the wagon or even stayed consistent, but you didn't create the results that you wanted, all of those times diminished your belief that these things are even possible for you. So if you are like I was in doing that, then I want you to keep in mind that you might need a little bit more grace as you go through this process. You might need to hold a little space for yourself while you rebuild the faith that the actions that you take are going to create the lifestyle that you want. So to help find your motivation, look for clues. Know before you get started that when I take action X, I believe that it will help me lead to Y results. Find those clues. And you can find those clues in your past experiences or other people's journeys. What you want to be very clear about in the end is that when you take action, you will get results. Step 3. Step 3 is do a health appraisal. You may have never heard of this. I low-key thought I made it up before I Googled it. So when you're thinking about what you're going to do, you must get really clear on what it's worth to you. If you're going to consistently take action, you got to feel like it's worth it. You have to feel like there's value in your follow through. Remember, your actions are driven by consequences. One of the reasons that most of us chose against what we really wanted in the past is because we evaluated the worth of taking action, but we evaluated that based on the immediate consequences instead of the long-term success. So like for me, when I was working on shifting my morning routine to get up in the morning so I could get my workouts in, man, I failed miserably. I lay in the bed staring at my phone alarm, all bundled up in the covers like Alaska was on the outside of my blanket. Listen, it was a whole struggle because when I was deciding to get up, I rarely considered how much better I would feel after the workout or how much mental clarity would come from it. What I stayed hung up on was the fact that that workout meant that I had to get up out of my warm bed and I just wasn't feeling it, okay? But when I finally decided it was now or now, I shifted that to an unwavering commitment to the end goal, that step 1 life. When you're doing your health appraisal, keep in mind the visualization from step 1. Is that life worth taking action? Now, we just broke down 3 steps to help you find your motivation. Let's do a quick recap. Step 1. Step 1 is visualize your success. You have to be very clear about the life that you want to create. And before you take action, you have to also be clear about whether or not you believe this is a possibility for you. Step 2, look for clues. The actions you're taking will lead to the result that you desire. You have to believe that. If you don't believe the actions you're taking will lead to that step 1 life, then go back to the drawing board and revisit the actions or revisit your belief in your possibilities, okay? Step 3, do a health appraisal. Find out what the value of your follow through is. What is it worth to you to take action? If you don't believe that you can create the life and the actions will help you get to the life and that life is actually what you want to have, you're never going to take action. You're never going to find your motivation to create the healthy lifestyle that you really want. These 3 steps are how you find your motivation. I so appreciate you for tuning in to Undiet with Dani. I hope you heard something that was helpful today and you're already subscribed so you don't miss out on future episodes. I want to hear your feedback. I want to hear your takeaways and your next steps. So don't let the conversation end here. You're invited to join me inside of the Undiet Tribe. You can give your feedback on this episode, find tools to support your journey, ask questions, and get support with women working on similar goals, all inside of our private Facebook community. Join us by going to www.undiettribe.com. I can't wait to celebrate your progress. I'll see you inside of the tribe.